because how do I do this? Maybe this is the best way. I'm here today at Valley Hot Yoga to do my workshop on procrastination, and wanted to also live stream it. There we go. Could have sworn there was something I made go loose. But anyway, okay, here we are. Now let's share this with people. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. It's a good angle. Maybe I can bring it down a little bit. Okay, that's good enough for me. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this workshop, so to speak. And the topic is going to be on procrastination. So, let me give you a little bit of a background context on why I'm doing this in the first place. I'm doing this workshop because, as you might know, most of my business is run online. And because I run a lot of things online, I don't do many in-person events. And I wanted to try some in-person events, but I wasn't really finding the right opportunity on how to do this kind of a thing in person. And so I wanted to wait a little bit until I had a little bit of clarity around how to do in-person events. And thankfully, I got lucky, and my friend Tina and Dawn, who are running a beautiful yoga studio here in Los Angeles, they offered, hey, we have a meditation room that you can rent out. And I was like, whoa, that's a really good idea. So I thought I would rent this space and then try running some workshops. What's up, SB? I thought I would try running some workshops so that I can, ultimately it would be really nice to teach people Korean meditation. But Korean meditation tends to be kind of an esoteric topic, so I wanted to, hello Chinese, I'm Korean, but hello regardless. I'm doing the workshop right now. So that's why I got lucky, and my friend said I can borrow this space to do a workshop. So I was like, great, let's do this. And this is basically where I'm gonna start talking about procrastination. So with procrastination, right, I have two primary goals for this workshop. The first one is I want you to understand the mechanism of procrastination. What makes a person do something, but also what makes a person not do something. And interestingly, we tell ourselves that we want to do something, but then why don't we do that thing? It's one thing to be like, I don't want to do it, therefore I'm not gonna do it. But strangely, we can have these times where we say, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and then we don't do it. And it's one thing to not feel like doing it today, but we can pick it up tomorrow, right? But we oftentimes find ourselves like, I really want to do it, but I haven't done it yesterday, I haven't done it today, and I haven't done it for an entire month. So what's responsible for this gap? Why do we tell ourselves that we want to do something, but why do we not do it? Why do we end up not doing it? So we want to understand the mechanism of what drives action and what drives inaction. What determines whether we're gonna do something or not? So that is one primary objective of this workshop. And the second objective is I want you to know what to do in order to tackle procrastination. So how do we get to a life where we do things? And when we know that, in short term and long term, then we are equipped for anything that we want to do in our lives. So, I think it's because of the vertical forum. There's a lot of new people coming in. Hello, nice to meet you all. I am having a great day, and I saw one person's from Pakistan. Welcome. I love Pakistan, and I know that your country is going through some stuff right now, but I pray that everyone will be in peace. And give me 1 second to share this live stream on Instagram as well. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Stop procrastination. All right. So now that I explained to you the two agendas, number one, understand the mechanism of procrastination and action. Number two, have some action plan on how to tackle it. Let's get to the meat. I want to study French, but I don't open my French book. I don't open up Duolingo. So there's a divide here. I tell myself I want to do something, but I don't. So that means there's two parts of us that are in conflict with one another. Because when I say I want to study French, the I that I am referring to actually wants to study French. Why? Because it would be nice to speak French. Or it can be exercise. I want to exercise. I want to exercise regularly. I want to lose weight. So in that sentence, there's an I, right? And that I is me. So we can all agree that there is at least a part of us that wants to do the thing. We want to study French, we want to exercise, we want to lose weight. But at the same time, there's this other us, there's other me, where I have the option of opening up the French book right now. But I'm like, I don't want to do it right now. I could go to the gym right now, or even if I'm not going to the gym, I could start doing push-ups right now. But there's also a part of me that goes, I don't want to do that right now. So these sentences where I don't want to do it also feature this character called me. So there's one me who wants to do, and there's another me that doesn't want to. And we can think of it as a fight between, or more like a struggle, power, arm wrestling between these two parties. One wants to, and one doesn't want to. And I wrote a book specifically on this topic called the action formula. So in that formula, I say, when your willingness to do something is bigger than the desire to not do something, then you're going to go to action, and vice versa. But this kind of a relationship with yourself where you're fighting against each other, it tends to invite stress. And I don't want you to be stressed. Because if I was really interested in you to getting to action, regardless of what it takes, then you don't really need me. You can just hire someone to yell at you, or you can yell at yourself, and you can force yourself to do it. But the thing is, when you do that, it's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to be able to live your entire life doing things that way. Even if you do things, you will need to take breaks in between because you're so burnt out from fighting with yourself. So my approach is, how do we not fight with ourselves? And that's what I want to ultimately teach in this workshop, right? Because there are other works I did on procrastination that talk about that inner dynamic. So what we're really doing is, how do we go from two characters to one character? Because when I think, there's a part of me that wants to do it, and there's a part of me that doesn't want to do it. It's two me's fighting against each other. How do we merge it into one me? And this is where we need to talk about our thinking and our heart. So, there's a very big difference between thinking something and doing something, right? That's entirely what procrastination is. There's a very big difference between a person who thinks all day about going to the gym but doesn't go versus a person who doesn't really think about going to the gym all the time but just goes. Both people want to go to the gym, but why does one person not go to the gym? It's because we are confusing what we think we want with what we actually want. We need to be able to differentiate between thinking and actually believing something, actually doing something. So, I think I want to lose weight because that's true. But in my actions, in the things that I do, in how I carry myself, if I am not doing anything to lose weight, then I'm not actually wanting to lose weight. I think I want to lose weight, but I don't actually want to lose weight. By being very accurately honest with each other about what do I think I want and what do I actually want, this is how you close that discrepancy. This is how you understand, why do I do something versus why do I not do something? So, another example, very popular example. Suppose I want to quit smoking. Quitting smoking is actually, I would say, not smoking is a lot easier than actually smoking, right? Because all you have to do to not smoke is nothing. Smoking itself is already a few actions more than not smoking. And guess what? After you smoke, does the feeling good remain? No. It's temporary, the relief. So you have to smoke again and again and again and again. But when you smoke, you rationalize the smoking, and now suddenly not smoking becomes so much harder. But when we see the news about lung cancer, when we see ourselves cough a lot, and when we see our cardio really decreasing, then we have this wake-up call of like, man, I should really quit smoking. But the thing is, I think I want to quit smoking. I don't actually want to quit smoking. So, whenever we are procrastinating, we have to be honest with ourselves and think, what do I actually want to do? And thankfully, and fortunately for you, this is not that hard. All you have to do is just examine, what are you actually doing with your life? And whatever you're actually doing is what you actually want. So we can think, you know what? I want to study a little bit more. You know what? I want to practice my dancing a little bit more. But are we actually doing that? If not, then we have to understand it is very likely that we think we want that, but we don't actually want it. So, that is how the mechanism of action works. And now, since we have a little bit of time, I can dive in a little bit more about the nuances of thinking about action in this way. Quitting smoking is kind of self-explanatory. You don't smoke. But when you expand on it a little bit more, why is it hard? It's hard because it's not as simple as just not smoking, right? When you stop smoking, you have to learn a completely new, different way of time management. Because by not smoking, suddenly you're going to have a lot of free time. And in that free time, what are you going to want to do the most? You are likely going to want to smoke. Because why? It's what you are used to. So, SB is asking, would changing identity make things easier? So, that's the great thing about our minds, right? We can change our perspectives on things. So, one way of going about it, like SB suggested, is this. You know what? Like, my identity right now is that of a smoker. So, to a smoker, right? If I haven't smoked for 5 days, then it's like, oh man, I haven't smoked for 5 days. It's a great thing that I didn't do it for 5 days, right? And if I haven't smoked for 3 months, I'm like, oh, I haven't smoked for 3 months. But to a non-smoker, a person who has never smoked, don't go around thinking, wow, I haven't smoked for 30 years, right? That kind of mindset and perspective is only valid to the smoker. Guaranash Narang, hello. So, what we have to understand is, yes, we can change our identity. You know what? Why am I looking at everything from a smoker's perspective? It's nonsensical. It's like my entire life is now being dominated. How I look at my time is being dominated by smoking. But that's not who I am, because I was still me, even when I didn't smoke. So, I was never a smoker to begin with. So, it's not that I'm quitting smoking, I'm just going back to who I was. So, this is how you would be changing your identity. But that's not the only way, right? I should do this with food, actually. Yeah, so suppose you are thinking about food and you have a habit of overeating. So, one way is to change your identity. Like SP said, I'm an overeater. But then the thing is, underneath the hood, when you were a baby, like you weren't an overeater when you were a baby. So, there was a time period in your life when you weren't an overeater. So, that's your identity, right? You're not an overeater. So when you change yourself to, you know what? I'm not an overeater. It's just that I have this, I keep engaging in this activity called overeating, but I'm not an overeater. So I should be acting more in line with who I actually am. But another way to go about this is overeating, right? It's one word that describes a big experience. So overeating is about, number one, like eating more than full. But number two, we don't usually eat food that is not good to the point of overeating. So, we want to, when we overeat, we usually want to eat a lot of delicious food. So that means by addressing our overeating, it can also mean, man, then I have to sacrifice feeling good, right? Because eating good food makes us feel good. And by not overeating, we also have to think about the fact that we are going to be more hungry, right? So, not overeating comes with all these downsides. So, of course, you don't actually want to do it. So, by recognizing that I actually don't want to do this, then we can really think about, okay, then why don't I? So now that we're all honest with ourselves, yes, I don't want to quit overeating. Yes, I don't want to quit smoking. Yes, I don't actually want to be kind. Yes, I don't actually want to be the good son. Yes, I don't actually want to be the good employee. At that point, when we're honest with ourselves, we can ask why. And now we can be honest with ourselves, right? Why don't I want to, quit overeating? Why don't I want to quit smoking? Why don't I want to quit drinking? Then we can answer honestly, because if I'm not high, if I'm not drunk, life is too stressful. So that means when we quit drinking, when we quit getting high, we need to think about, then how am I going to handle this stress? How am I going to handle the burden of being sober? Right? But so far, we've only been talking about the downside, right? The negative things that come from giving up the things that we love to do. Because whenever we're procrastinating, whenever we're delaying something, we're doing something else in place of it. So if I'm not quitting smoking, what am I doing instead? I'm smoking instead, right? If I'm not quitting overeating, what am I doing instead? I'm eating instead. So that means we can think about it from the opposite side as well. By overeating, by being constantly drunk, by not, being a good employee, by not being a good son or daughter, we think it's good, but what are we leading ourselves up to? If I continue overeating like this, what's likely to happen? If I keep smoking like this, what's likely to happen? If I keep being angry at other people like this, if I keep slacking off at work like this, what's likely to happen? Because I'm building up to that. Do I want that? If I eat a lot of processed foods and I eat until I'm over full, it's highly likely that I am building up to type 2 diabetes. It's highly likely that I am building up to being morbidly overweight. Yeah, like as we said, cause and effect. When I constantly keep smoking like this, it's highly likely that I am going to have lung problems down the line. I'm going to have teeth problems down the line. If I keep getting high, I will have longer term mental health impacts because my brain will be used to the stimulus working things that way. If I keep not brushing my teeth, it's very likely I'm going to have a very painful dentist experience. And as someone who's had a root canal, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. And that is what we are dealing with, right? That's what we're building up to. So the discomfort that comes from actually taking action, right? When we think about it as a giving up, then it feels bad. But when we think of it as actually, by not overeating, I'm saving myself from type 2 diabetes. By not drinking, I'm saving myself from a lifetime of liver problems. By not smoking anymore, I'm saving myself from lung problems down the line. But what we really have to take into account is it's the same thing. It's all doing things you don't want to do. But that same action can be seen in multiple different ways. So, when I look at exercise as an opportunity for growth, is that like the end result, right, of exercise? Is that different from looking at exercise as a reason to feel really tired at the end? It's the same thing, right? If you worked on your biceps, guess what? Regardless of what you think, your biceps will be bigger. If you work on your, bench pressing, regardless of what you think about bench pressing, as long as you did the bench pressing, the effects will be here, right? If you actually study, then regardless of what you thought about, how you felt about studying, the knowledge will be retained in your head, right? So this is my short-term solution to you. The short-term solution is when we are honest with ourselves, we can see the reasons why we actually want to procrastinate. We are procrastinating because we want to. And then why is it so hard to stop procrastinating? You're gonna have reasons, right? And those reasons are likely going to be very negative. Those reasons are going to likely feel very difficult. They're gonna feel tough. And the short-term way to getting to action is just thinking about it differently. Oh, wait, it's not that, I don't want to torture myself. No, I'm saving myself from the future. It's like, I'm me from the future timeline, and I'm helping present me, right? So, just by shifting the same action into a different kind of a, modality, we can think differently about it, which makes us more likely to do the thing, right? And that's the short-term solution for how to get to action. So this will require us to think about what is the benefit of doing the thing that we want to do. The reason why we're not so clear on the benefits of what we really want to do is because the things that we want to do, the things that we think we want to do, right? They're mostly driven from shame. We don't like ourselves many times. And therefore, the things that we want to work on tends to be things that we don't like about ourselves. But other than that, other than hating myself, we don't think about the far-reaching future impact of doing good things for ourselves because we are more consumed by our dislike of ourselves. So, when you think about the longer term, it's okay to have times where you don't like yourself, right? It's your life. You can believe whatever you want. But it's important to take a step back and think about, in the long run, regardless of what kind of a period I go through in my life, what do I really want out of my life? And that is where true motivation sparks. So, now that I gave you the longer term solution, I owe you the shorter term solution. The shorter term solution is, now that I give you the shorter term, I need to give you the longer term solution. The longer term solution needs to be motivated by the downsides of the short term solution. So, yeah, we can think differently about things, and then we're more likely to do it because we feel more excited about doing it, right? Okay. But this implies that whenever we face something we don't want to do, we have to go through this process of turning it into something that we want to do. And that done over time, it can feel tedious because guess what? It's still a little bit of brain work to do. So, I have 10 things I don't want to do. That means I need to think differently about 10 things before actually getting to do them. So you can see how it'll be easy for you to fall back into the habit of not doing things, right? Because whenever you have to do work, it's likely that you don't want to do work. It's in human nature to not desire having to do things. We all naturally prefer not doing things. So we need a longer term solution. And that longer term solution is we need to foster the ability to do things we don't want to do. And this will be very, very hard. Well, on one layer, of course, we don't like doing things we don't want to do. So that's like basic human psychology. Otherwise, we would have done it, right? So on one level, there's that simple answer of why it's so hard. But secondly, when we grow up, we meet a lot of authority figures in our lives. And unfortunately, not all authority figures in our lives are benevolent and kind and gently guide us to our destinations. So that means you may have been beaten. You may have been emotionally abused. You may have been forced to do a lot of things you don't want to do as a part of your upbringing, and you may have deep resentments about that. So, not only is doing things you don't want to do difficult from the get-go, you have additional reasons why doing things you don't want to do is harder. But it's your life, right? Do you want to be the owner of your life? Or do you want your likes and dislikes to be the owner of your life? If I am enslaved and my master gets to tell me what I do or don't do, then I don't have freedom, right? But even without a master, if I can only do things I like doing, if I can only do things I want to do, and I cannot do things I don't want to, then isn't that effectively the same? I don't have complete freedom. Freedom is the ability to do something you want to do, Freedom is the freedom to not do things I don't want to do. So, if I want to go out and party, I should be able to because I'm not a teenager anymore and I don't live with my parents. So, yeah, now I'm free to do that. I am free to not go to college anymore because I graduated and I hated going to college. So I'm free to not do that, and that's freedom. But true freedom has two more dimensions. I am free to do things I don't want to do. I am free to do things, I am free to not do things I want to do. That's true freedom. Yes, I don't want to control my diet because I want to be able to eat whatever I want. But if I have a gastrointestinal thing going on and I need to be on a specific diet, then I should be able to help myself. I should be free to save myself. Suppose I have a gastrointestinal disorder and I cannot eat fatty foods. But while I like fatty foods, if someone forces me to only eat fatty foods, even though I have this stomach problem, then I'm not free. Because I am free, even though I like eating fatty foods, I am free to help myself. That is the freedom to do things I don't want to do. Nadir, I am from Korea. The freedom to not do things I want to do. I want to watch porn all the time. I want to jerk off all the time. I want to get high all the time. I want to sleep in all the time. I want to always be comfortable. But imagine that's all you can do. You're locked up in a room full of pleasure, and that's the only thing you can do. You're not allowed to do anything else. You're not allowed to do anything that's uncomfortable. Can you see how, yes, most of the time you will be comfortable, but life will be very devoid of meaning because you have nothing challenging you. And that's why true freedom incorporates the ability to not do things you truly want to do. So the short-term solution is, yeah, we can think differently so that the thing that we don't want to do becomes a thing we want to do. So the things that I want to do becomes a thing I don't want to do. That's the short-term way of thinking about things. But long-term, right? If we want true freedom in our lives and if we want true control over what we do and what we don't do, then we need to be able to exercise complete freedom, which means doing things I want to do, doing things I don't want to do, not doing things I want to do, not doing things I don't want to do. So, that is how procrastination works. Differentiating between thinking me and actual me, and the short-term solution for procrastination and the long-term solution for procrastination. So that is basically everything I wanted to cover in this workshop. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'll be sticking around here for like 10 more minutes. But yeah, that was everything I had in store to talk about with you today. There was one thing I was thinking about one thing, telling you guys one thing, but then it kind of slipped my mind. But now that I'm done talking, how are you guys doing? I saw some Arabic letters. And Taylor Craighead, hi, sorry I'm a little bit late. Tanzi, uh, Burcu Bordak, Bosdak, hello. Demid, hello. Frequism, hello. Unwhack, Garanj Narang, Nadir, everyone. Going to sleep soon. Oh, what time zone are you in? Must be a little bit late. But yeah, oh, this is the thing I forgot to mention. So to learn more about procrastination, I have a bunch of videos about procrastination in my YouTube channel that you're watching right now. And on my website, julylifecoach.com, I have resources that you can download regarding procrastinations. I have two ebooks. One ebook, and they're free. One ebook is about the brain side of procrastination, what happens in your brain, and the second is like a more practical application of like what you can do with the with your procrastination. So you can download those from my website, and I also have a book, like a full book, called the Action Formula. This is the book I was referring to before. It's like my most comprehensive work on procrastination, and we really break down what is willingness and what is excitement, what is perfectionism, what is unwillingness, what is guilt and shame, and how do all these factors play in you getting to action. What's the difference between effortless action, and what's the difference between that and effortful action? What's the difference between doing actions while you're stressed versus doing things without any kind of a stress? Oh, UK. Oh, welcome. Well, I have a lot of people coming in from the UK into my world recently. I don't know what happened. Maybe UK YouTube or UK Instagram is recommending me more for some reason. But yeah, thanks for chiming in. Nadir, it's 23:52. Oh, you guys are late sleepers. I'm usually knocked out by 10 a.m. Oh, not 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Yeah, but I'm over here at the Valley Hot Yoga in Woodland Hills, owned by my friends Tina and Dawn. And this is the meditation room. And this is my first in-person event. And I was hoping to get some people in this room, but as you can see right now, it's just me. But it's to be expected because I have a more of an online presence, and I don't have a big of a in-person presence. But I'm hoping to build up more of an in-person presence here in Los Angeles, and but gotta brainstorm ways of getting people more excited to come in person, because I understand, driving into in-person events, especially people you haven't worked with before, it can be very intimidating. So I understand how these things work. You've been going to bed at 4 a.m. because of NBA. Oh man, that sounds rough. But what team do you like? Is it basketball season? I'm not a sports guy, so I have no idea how these things work in sports. Yeah, but people in LA usually like Lakers, but I think the Lakers are out of the championship contention anymore, right? What do I talk about in my YouTube channel? I talk about stuff like this, life coaching. I'm a life coach, so I talk about procrastination, I talk about depression, I talk about personal dreams and goals. I talk about getting yourself to do things. I talk about not being depressed. I want to talk about being happy, not suffering, what makes us suffer, what makes us not suffer, how to meditate, all those things. How to think about romance, how to not become lonely, how to stop resenting your parents, how to be generally kinder to people, all these different things. Yep. Oh, it's the playoffs. Oh, okay. You can tell I'm really not a sports guy, right? Yeah. And it's baseball season, so I know that a lot of people in my area are obsessed with Otani because it's the LA Dodgers. Yeah, but again, I just know that Otani is like pretty amazing, but I don't really know sports because I'm not a sports guy. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up soon. Uh, my time here is done. I rented the room for 1 hour, so my hour is almost up. Okay, well, Oh, Nadir, well, you're impressed. Yeah, drop by my channel more often, and you can leave comments and ask me questions, and I'll be able answer them to the best of my abilities. And yep, so guys, I'd love to stay and chat for a little bit more. Yeah, but it's okay. You guys are here, and even if people don't show up, like I always make it a point to stream these things so that I don't waste my time, right? And this is good feedback for me because I did a lot of marketing for this, but I think so. A little bit of a retro is like I think number one, there needed to be a little bit more of a specific topic that the yoga people are interested in because this is a yoga studio. So maybe I'll do something on meditation next time, which is gonna be a little. It's not gonna be that far long. It's gonna be pretty soon. Now that I have a venue. And the second thing, I think there needs to be more incentives for people to come because right now, like, it's kind of difficult to talk about your personal problems with another person, right? So, I don't know, maybe I'll have donuts or some food I can offer to people or whatever. All right. Well, look, I would love to stay and chat again, but I'm gonna be streaming more starting July because some things will change. I'll talk more about that later. But Nadir, thanks for subscribing. SB, thanks for hanging out here, and all the people who joined my live stream this today. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope this was helpful for you. All right. See you next time.